Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. This video will be my read-through and reaction to of Chapter 14's Interlude. This chapter was called Chaos in the Capital, and obviously we've already played through the main chapter, but with it being in between story chapters this month, we're getting the Interlude, which is kind of an expansion upon some of the final elements of the chapter, maybe show us some scenes that are happening outside of the focus of the main cast. So I'm looking forward to this. I think interludes have been pretty strong the past few times, and I think this has the potential to be pretty strong too with how Chapter 14 ended off. So if you want to walk away now, there's going to be full story spoilers for everything that's happened through Chapter 14, and obviously in the interlude since we'll be reading through it together in this video. I have managed to stay spoiler-free myself, so I have no idea what's going to take place in the interlude. And the last thing I remember happening in Chapter 14 was basically that Ellie handed over Zethia to this mysterious character, who you can see here, who appears to be a leader of some type of the Agito. When I read the chapter, I anticipated that they would be the Shadow Element Agito boss, but we saw in the This Month in Dragalia Lost preview that the Shadow Element Agito boss at least appears to be a different person than this person. So maybe they're the same and they just have the ability to shapeshift or transform their appearance, but in my mind, they're different people, so have no idea who this character could be. I speculated that they might have a connection to Finlorda. If you don't remember, Finlorda signed a treaty with King Aurelius after Yuden is said to have died. Basically, all of this came to light through some documents that Harl read and shared with Elisan that suggested that several days after the twins' birth, after Zethia and Yuden's birth, Yuden actually died. And at that point in this agreement, or this document, it says that Finlorda and Aurelius signed some kind of treaty between their nations. So I thought that this character might have some type of association with Finlorda. Maybe there was like a swapped at birth situation where Yuden was brought back to life or something, but this character played a role in that. It almost reminds me of like a nobody of a character, or Heartless or something like that. Anyway, it's a Paladyn's Past for the first part of this interlude. Let's get started. We don't know how long this will be, and we want to make it through in a quick order here, so let's see. Oh, Princess Zethia, why couldn't I? Who's there? I will be taking the Auspex now. Or should I say, I will be taking my younger sister. No, you cannot be. You must be the Paladyn I've heard so much about. Elisan, was it? How do you know my name? I will repeat myself only once, Elisan. Give me Zethia. Move no closer, fiend, or I shall cut you down where you stand. Oh, I did not realize it was the Paladin's charge to obstruct the reunion of royals. Royals? You lie through your teeth. Answer me this, what drives you to take up your lance? Spare me your rhetoric. All I do is in service to His Majesty. I see. And in exchange, what does your prince promise you? Nothing less than peace, of course. His Majesty's heart is kind, and his ideals pure. He will see this world free from conflict. Ideals and kindness alone are hardly enough to bring peace. You risk your very survival by throwing your lot behind such a pitiful platform. Every force in the world is vying for supremacy while parading their truths and ideologies. To take them on with such lukewarm resolve is tantamount to suicide. What do you believe in, Elisan? Not as a paladin, but as a person. I cannot let his words poison my heart. I was robbed of my bloodline, my status, even my health, but I no longer care for any of those things. All I believe in now is what my heart proclaims. But that's enough of that. Now, give me the Auspex. A word of advice, a wavering heart is quick to bleed. Huh? Where did... You have lost. No, give her back! Give Yuden a message for me, won't you? Tell him I'll be waiting with Zethia at the checkpoint on the northern border. Who are you? I am Nedrick. Ooh, name reveal. And I am... Oh, come on. Intentionally obscuring important flashbacks? What? No! Even if the history I read is true, there is no way you could... Do not forget my message, Paladyn. No, stop! Princess! Alright, she wasn't lying about Zethia being taken by force. I let his provocations taint my mind and lost Zethia as a result. But it's also kind of true that she got distracted there, or tempted a bit by what he was saying. I failed in my duty as Paladyn. There is no excusing such weakness. Should I divulge to the others all that I know? All that I have learned? Now is surely not the best time, but... Oh, goddess, what should I do? Was that it? Wow, okay. We found out the name of the character being Nedrick, but not a lot else happened. I mean, we still get this waffling from Ellie. There's really just a lot of things in Dragalia Lost which are intentionally obfuscated to kind of draw things out to a point. Like, think about the Great Worms, for example. You have Midgard Sormer. He's gotta have seen some things in his life, okay? He's gotta know a lot about what's happened in the last 300 years. Same when it comes to Brunhilde, Mercury, etc. None of them ever really talk to us about relevant historical information that we might want to know, with the exception being Mim or Brunhilde does it a little bit, and Jupiter's appeared in a few chapters, Mercury's appeared here and there, and Zodiark, because of the connection to Aurelius, does make a little bit more of a statement when he actually speaks. But these characters that we have in our party should be wizened. They have, a good amount of knowledge about what's happened in the world that you would think they'd be able to share with us. We never really get any of that backstory. So there's a lot of stuff like this where they flashed out at a very key moment in order to hold this as a surprise. But let's read the next part, Conference in Valkaheim. It looks like it takes place somewhere else. I see Shell, I see Leonidas. This should be pretty good. Ooh, this is our first background art to Valkaheim. That looks nice. Have we still not ascertained Ferris's location? I'm afraid not, Your Highness. Since he fled the capital, not a single one of our scouts has seen or heard anything. I like the outfit here. I'm getting Fire Nation vibes, which I think is intentional for Valkaheim. We have managed to track the movements of the 7th Scion, however. He and his party appear to be making for the northern border, presumably to rescue the princess. He abandoned the capital to go after Zethia. Just what is he doing? The waters churn quite violently, Must you slither everywhere you go? It's gotta be Shell. Yes. Come now, brother dearest, don't be cruel. I've heard you were injured quite severely. Are you well? It was hardly severe. Yes, you look as hale as can be. It does my heart well, but I must admit to some manner of disappointment. How excited I was to see my dear, dear brother weakened and wizened by injury. Enough. Speak your business and be gone before my patience falters. Yes, I shall get to my point. You've been keeping secrets, brother, and I think it's time to share. Say, for example, something about the 5th Scion. I know you colluded with our father to seal him away in a castle, our little brother whom I have yet to see with my own eyes. I did not collude. I took over the watch after our father's death, yes, but it was purely out of necessity. The power of his black mana had only grown more terrible over time. Killing him was no longer an option. He had been a danger since birth. He entered this world swaddled in the most ebon of mana. Killing him then would have been the best course for Alberia, but father did not do so. Instead, he locked him away in the deepest recesses of the palace, and now Ferris has freed him in hopes of harnessing the other's power. He has put all of Alberia, no, all of the world, at impossible risk. A power so potent it can produce void dragons and consume the other entirely? It is no wonder Ferris would set his eyes upon it. I have been concerned about his activities for quite some time. As soon as I learn what he's planning, I shall send word. All of that said, however, I believe the North requires our more immediate attention. I presume you've heard tell of the group that has been terrorizing Alberia of late? They call themselves Agito. I've received reports indicating they are invading from the northern border, which reminded me of something. Before Father passed away, he seemed terribly afraid of northern Grastia. One need only look at where he positioned the two of us so far north from the capital as proof. Of course, I haven't the foggiest idea what he might have been afraid of. Perhaps you might know, brother. I do not. However, he did broach a curious subject with me before his passing. You are my eldest, Leonidas, and so I must tell you this in the event of my death. I shall not open my ears to such cowardly words from a king, even if that king is my father. It is precisely because I am king that I must tell you this. Now listen well. If the time should come, you must do all in your power to protect the people of Alberia. They have believed in and supported the royal family, and you must never betray them. And when the opportunity presents itself, go to Grams in northern Grastia. Grams? Why ever for? I have nothing further for you now. Should you go at the proper time, you will find your answer. Remember this well. Whoa, okay. Grams is a city ruled by the Ilian Church. What could Father have been talking about? Knowing you, you've no doubt sent your cats to sniff around already. Have you gleaned nothing? No, not yet, though I have begun to wonder whether the answer may lie with that Nedrick fellow. It appears the time for my visit draws near. Then you intend to make for Grams? Not yet. I shall remain here for the moment to maintain a watchful eye on both the capital and the north. With the other excised, many eyes will doubtless wander toward the vacant throne, and Valix, who maintained the peace, has left on an expedition. Indeed. And what of the church? I am aware of their suspicious dealings. We must not show any signs of weakness, now more than ever. You've been paying close attention, I see. Well, this was an utterly delightful rendezvous, but it's time I took my leave. Wait. Oh, is there something else, or are you so reluctant to be parted from your sister? Spare me your mockery. I want you to protect Yuden. My, what a curious development this is. Why would you ask this favor from me? He will be embroiled in tremendous hardship in the days ahead. Your support would be most welcome, I think. Besides, would it not behoove you to hold a debt over him? You speak true, and yet, is it wise? After all, we still don't know his true identity. I know all that I require. He is a man who does not shy away from the truth, and he is my brother besides. Hearing that alone was worth the trip. I will think on your request, and now, one last thing before I depart. If I'm not mistaken, there is still one member of our family who remains in the capital. I rather suspect we cannot count on him for much, but, you know, food for thought. Ta-ta! You mean that fool of a sibling? Oh, they gotta be talking about Emil, right? What's Emil up to? I guess we're gonna find out. A prince's ambitions, let's go. That was a pretty good chapter. Grams in northern Grastia has some connection to the Ilian Church, so that's kind of news to me. Interesting. I definitely read a theory about Finlorda possibly being a fairy king. And if you remember a couple of interludes back, Verica had a vision of Yuden basically explaining what would happen between him and absorbing Morciati's power. Not apparently, if the Finlorda guy was actually a fairy king, it would make sense that Not has randomly been with Yuden since birth, since it's kind of like a watchful eye that the fairy king might have eyes through fairies across the land. We haven't seen any fairies anywhere else. And in that chapter, the characters were singing a fairy tale song or like a lullaby from the north as well. It's a really obscure chapter. I barely remember this. I think it was like in the chapter where we're going to the lake to stop the void enemies from spawning. But it had like it had Eileen and Verica. It was very weird because most of the time main story chapters don't have gacha characters, but this one did. Anyway, let's read A Prince's Ambitions. Hopefully you can find out a little bit more about what's going on in the capital, since I don't really know. Are we occupying it now? Like, did we win? I heard Prince Yuden is on his way north to quash some invaders. As did I. I wonder if that means his battle with Empress Cethia ended in victory. In that case, the lad's gone and left us completely ungoverned and unprotected. Too true. Prince Leonidas has shown no signs of leaving Valkaheim, and Princess Shell is holed up in Rovetel. Prince Valix too has yet to return, and Prince Farah seems to have just up and disappeared. Now hold on a tick. Wasn't there one other royal offspring? Was there? Pretty sure we covered everyone already. Indeed, excluding Empress Cethia, the late King Aurelius had only 5 heirs. Huh, I guess you're right. Silly old me. Oh man. This is rich. That's a sample of what's been said around the capital lately, Your Highness. Ah, they don't even remember me! Those ignorant, tasteless, pea-brained sheeple! Why does my name not dance across their lips entwined with words of praise and glory? 'Tis I who sits upon the throne now, once claimed by the other. To be fair, all you really did was sneak in after everyone left. What was that, you mewling cur? Nothing, Your Highness, a gust of wind. Huh, right. I will prove my grandeur to you all, and all the rabble. Ho, you there. Devise a scheme to coerce the masses into accepting my undeniable majesty and authority. Me? Yes, you. Here, how about this? I shall count to 5, and if you spit out something truly idiotic, I'll hack off your head and save us all further embarrassment. 1. Wait, okay, oh, I've got it. The general populace is fearful of disorder and rest now that the other is gone, yes? If you were to tour the capital and sow peace and comfort, you would surely earn the people's approval. This is actually very sage advice right now. How is this going to be butchered? Yes, I like it. You honor me, Your Highness. You misunderstood. While you were busy wagging your tongue, I was all the while devising a plan in my head of a coincidentally similar ilk. In fact, I would have shared it earlier had you not been hogging all the air in the room. Yes, the credit for this plan is mine and mine alone. Brilliant as ever. What? All right, everyone, prepare yourselves for a trip to town. Now listen, you're gonna hand over your valuables, or I'm gonna hand me blade to your face. We clear? Yes, you can take whatever you want, just don't hurt me. Halt, knaves! Huh? Who are you? You address the 6th scion of this great kingdom of Valbyria, the true genius of the royal family and a hero worthy of both song and legend, Prince Emil. Fear not, my cowering citizen. All shall be well now that I'm on the scene. Hooray! And you lot, there is nothing more depraved than stealing from a lowly business owner barely scraping by. Listen, Prince, I don't know who you think you are, but if it's a scrap you're looking for, then bring it on. You scoundrels leave me no choice. I shall bring the hammer of justice down upon you without mercy. That's your cue, minions! What? We'll be the ones fighting? I mean, not that I'm all that surprised. Obviously, you dolt. I can't go getting injured, can I? Now, attack! Right! Hurrah! Come and get it, punks! Yeah! You imbecile! I was supposed to land the final blow! Might have helped if you told us that beforehand. Is it not your duty to deliver glory to your prince? You should have known the moment this battle began. And as for you... Huh? You claim to be professionals, and yet you cannot follow simple instructions. I told you to make the knockout flashy. Really put on a show. They're all paid actors. Sorry, we just got a bit nervous is all. Just do it like we rehearsed. If you don't, you'll get a single speck of gold from me. You'll not get a single speck. Okay. It's so difficult to find good help these days. All right, everyone, let us continue on to the next shop. You mean we're not finished? Of course not! Word of my strength and excellence must spread throughout the entire city, so our quota is 10 shops a day. He really is the worst. Must I instruct you on how to walk, soldier? No, your highness, I'm coming. I should have picked literally any other sibling to serve. Alright, that was cute. Emil is getting into Xander territory for sure. Okay, looks like that's it. I was gonna say he also reminds me of... Gosh. Who is the... Oh, yes. From Adventure Time. It's Lemon Grab. I think that's what it's called. So there's a character who's kind of like the king of... Well, it's a lot to explain. He does set up his own kingdom. There's some interesting arcs with this, like, baby lemon. There's a lot going on in that show. It's a fantastic show if you haven't watched it. But that's kind of the vibe I was getting from Emil, the way he was treating his subordinates. At the same time, it's kind of comedic how incompetent he really is. So I get some Xander vibes from him as well. But this was pretty good. A nice mix of something a little bit more serious and interesting with the first two, and then a reminder that, yes, Emil is a character who exists in the third chapter, and more of a comedic reminder at that. I still have not played through Chapter 14 on hard difficulty or very hard. Unfortunately, these story specials have been really weak since the half anniversary. They've been doing half stamina and double drops, but only on the chapters before Chapter 10 plus, so it's been like 2 and 7. You really don't want to spend your stamina, in my opinion, on 2 and 7, because that's one type of Tier 4 orbs, Tsunami Orbs. When you can get the half stamina plus double drop on the chapters later on, you can get 2 types of Tier 4 orbs, and you get a lot of worm prints and other drops as well. So I'm personally waiting until we have another really lucrative half stamina double drop. Maybe it'll be on the anniversary, maybe later, because we really only got that once back when Chapter 13 came out. They gave it to us for all chapters, not just a particular 2. And so I'm not even going to touch Chapter 14 hard or very hard until I can do it half and double for sure. But that is pretty much all I wanted to share in this video. Just wanted to play through the interlude together. I think it's always fun to see what's going on with the main story. It's probably one of the stronger elements of Dragalia right now since Okada took over. His regime has really focused on the story content and permanent content like Agito battles. Perhaps some might suggest at the expense of limited content like events. I would definitely say over the past 2 months, the new types of events have been B tier compared to raid events and facility events that we had in the past. I don't think you can really make the argument that Summertime Saviors or the event prior to that, Nadine and Linnea's United Front, were at the same level as some of these raid events that have original music, brand new bosses, etc. So those were definitely weaker. But I'm pleased to see the story continuing to get content, and looking forward to the Master Agito content that will probably come out next week as well. There's still things to do at Dragalia Lost, but I have to admit it's been a pretty slow ride. Anyway, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this chapter interlude look at Chapter 14's interlude. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. But that is going to do it for today, everyone. So thank you as always for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.